Liam, I would imagine that one of the first things you looked at on film from last year is how the team really struggled in their first possession coming out. It was a lot of 3-and-outs and just not good. 12 plays, 44 yards. You take 7 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock, but it's marred by a couple of penalties.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that drive?
Yeah, we wanted to take the ball and get the 1-0. We weren't going to keep them in very long anyway, and we just wanted to get those guys those reps. And I thought it was obviously well executed in terms of the majority of it, and then the theme of the day showed up for us on that one drive, which was self-inflicted wounds. So you get the first play of the game, you get a false start, go backwards, overcome, move it forward, get a good screen to ETN, makes people miss, and then we throw the screen to Travis. BT's got a pressed up corner. The guy, the nickel, he blocks him. They call OPI. I didn't see the block in the back on Ezra there. So that puts us in 3rd and 12, and the thought was, hey, let's do a control pass here, try to maybe get it to, if we could have got it to 3rd and 4, so we probably would have gone for it, or 4th and 4, excuse me. So every one of the skill players got a touch I was pleased with, wanted to get everybody kind of a touch and involved. Was pleased with the 4th down conversion, for those guys. So that was good. It was some good stuff. But, yeah, we want to finish with a touchdown.
Liam, you kind of hinted at it, but just in terms of the penalties tonight, how do you address that with the team? I know you talked about it beforehand. You wanted to see more discipline. So
yeah.
how do you sort of get to that?
Yeah, I mean, I did just address it. I think that ultimately it's something that takes no talent to do. And, we can't beat anybody. This is something we've been preaching for a long time since we arrived, was we cannot start to beat people until we stop beating ourselves. And that has remained pretty consistent since February or whatever it's been. So, yeah, frustrating for sure.
And then I guess just last from me, came a little 70-yard field goal.
Yeah.
What was your immediate reaction? What was the thought process sending them back out there?
Yeah, so it was I forget what the time was. It was 5 seconds. We tried to run all slants to get a down timeout situation to try to get it past the 50 if you could. They played 3 deep, soft zone. There wasn't an easy completion right now, so we checked it down and just banged it, and just Cam looked at me and was like, yeah, I want it. And so gave it a go, and that was pretty cool to see, huh? Yeah.
Liam, Hunter's performance tonight, how would you rate that? I guess 18 snaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think he made a couple good catches on some option routes, and missed the one tackle defensively that I noticed. Like, that was the only things that I kind of noticed about his overall play. In terms of that, I'll have to watch the tape on how he operated defensively a little bit more, but I thought offensively he made the right decisions on those option routes, made a good catch, almost broke out of that one where kind of Trevor put it behind him on that 3rd down we talked about. But, I'll have to go watch the tape a little bit more to know more.
Mechanically, though, how did that
Oh, good.
Felt
Yeah.
great. No issues?
No.
Over
Yeah, he wanted to keep playing offense. After the first drive, he came up to me. He's like, can I go back in on O? I'm like, no, time to go on D. So that was no problem from a communication standpoint. It was just more, we got to go see the film for the actual how he executed.
Liam, you've talked a lot about Trevor and just running an operation.
Yeah.
How did you feel like he did it tonight?
Yeah, I think aside from the first play, I think he just was at the line with a can and kind of just took a little long, and it got us a little jumpy. But I thought, aside from that, you look at getting through some progressions. You got back to Strange on a progression for a first down. That was really nice to see. I thought we protected Trevor pretty well. I thought he was accurate with the ball. Safety made a good drive on BT on that one inbreaker, but the ball was kind of where it needed to be, maybe a little bit more firm for him. But I thought he operated at a good click.
And then, obviously guys are going to celebrate. It was a big play, but seeing, Travis, Josh Hines Allen, everybody get excited for Cam, does that kind of show you the culture you want to build?
It is. I think overall you felt a good sideline vibe down there in terms of there was good energy. We had Wyatt Milam take a dude to the sidelines on a screen that drove him all the way to the stands. We shoved, got the run in from the whatever yard line where 9 guys or whatever pushing the pile. So, you definitely felt maybe a little bit of a physical difference between the two teams in some ways up front, on both sides. In terms of size, they're big, man. It's a big team. But I was proud of the way that the guys played physically. They played hard. They played tough. We just didn't play smart enough.
Any concern about the ease with which the Steelers went down against the first-team defense?
Yeah, I think there's a little concern with, I think we were playing a little loose on some of our coverage system, I was a little disappointed with the early 3rd and 2, I think it was, where we're playing a tight 3 deep in that situation, and we got off coverage to give an easy Omaha away. That was a little frustrating to see. So, those are some things when you're playing a new system, right? They've been playing a lot of man coverage over the last year here, and playing a lot more zone coverage. So, oftentimes you almost start to do too much the other way, where we're giving up a lot of grass and a little bit of room. So I imagine we're going to want to ask these guys to get a little stickier.
Overall, you alluded to it a little bit, but offensive line play is one of the biggest changes overall in this team this offseason. What's your general thoughts on them and how they executed it? First, second, third team.
Yeah, I thought 0 sacks is always nice to have. I didn't feel like the quarterbacks were under duress all that much until kind of the end there where you felt it. I didn't think we got great movement in the run game, but I thought that we tried to lean on them a little bit and had some good runs. I'd like to be able to see us, run it better than we did, but I was pleased with their overall effort. I thought Sean had great communication with those guys, and they did their best, but we can definitely be better there.